Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of XA Talk Show. Today is June 15th, 2019. And today we are going to do a live coding demo plus tutorial. I'm going to code golang. I'm going to write a script that kind of does, it's a text processing script, and the purpose of the script would be similar to grab and set or find and replace a bunch of text files in a directory. And I'm going to do that using emacs. And so nobody is here yet. Let me type it out so people know. So today, live coding in Golang, doing a find replace kind of text processing script, writing, okay, and using emacs and xah-fly-keys. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And let me paste it here. Okay, so we got one guy watching. Say hi, and let's get started. So what we're gonna do? Is we have these. Talk show. We have these. Let me show you this page. Let's see. If you go to Google, xah-fly monkey king. Hi guys. I'm describing what we're gonna do. So if you go to Google, not Google, but if you search for Journey of the West, so search for Journey to the West. There, that's the first item here. So I have this web page. This web page is a novel. It's a classic Chinese novel. It's said to be one of the 4 greatest Chinese novel. And so I have it here. You can see. Oh, this is bad. So you can see, it has about 100 chapters, and you can see each page, is a text. And let me show you the directory. So this is the. Let me go to my home directory here. So this file, if we show in browser, you can see that's a file, and here is the directory. So it can, it's about 200 files. Now there's a problem. There's an issue I want to change. That is, for each chapter, you can see this is chapter 1, and this is chapter 1 part 2, and this is chapter 2. You can see the 2 here means the chapter number, chapter 2 part 1, page 1. Okay, then chapter 2, page 2. So for each chapter, let's go to number 5. For each chapter, you have 2 pages. This is first page, then you click here, you go to the second page. Then if you click next, then that's going to be the next chapter. But this is a problem because I don't want, I don't want 2 pages. I want to combine them into 1 pages. It was 2 pages because back then, 10 years ago, the browser is not as powerful as today. So, short content is more preferable. But so what we're gonna do is today we're gonna combine, go to every page that is the page 2 and combine the content into page 1. So let me show you. Since I'm using Emacs, let me start this XAR command log mod. So so that you can see all the commands I'm calling in Emacs. So let's call xah start command log mod. Okay. Now if I move cursor, you can see it calls this command diet next line. In fact, for any command I call, it's gonna show up on the left panel. So if you are using Emacs, that's a good tip, good thing to know. So anyway, we are going to create a Golang script that grabs every page, a bunch of files. We want to open each file and grab part of the content in that file, then put that file to another corresponding file. That is the what we are going to do. In fact, I started to write this code today, about half an hour ago. But let's start from scratch. Okay, so let's go to open a new file, close this, and let's say let's name it, save the file as go find replace, let's say go monkey. Okay, .go. So we have a new buffer, new file. Let me add a Golang template. In Golang, every program basically will start like this. We'll have these lines and files. So let's see, 3 people watching. So say hi. Let me see. So let's do what we're gonna do. So first of all, start a comment. Okay, comment. Go through a list. I'm gonna type out what we're gonna do. List of files. For each file, open it, grab part of the content, then put that content into a corresponding file. So first of all, let's get the files we want. So now in Emacs, we can call this command diet mark file rejects. So we want -2.html. So that lists all the files we actually want to process in green. In orange here, like this. So I'm going to call a command. This command is xah copy file path. So what we got is all the files we need. For example, let's paste it here. You see, that's the list of files we want to process. Now, so first of all, we have to make a file list, a variable. So this variable will contain this bunch of file names. But I haven't been coding Golang for a while, so let's go up to Golang. This is my Golang tutorial. You can find it by searching xah-fly Golang tutorial. And while I code it, I also use it to, when I code Golang, this is my tutorial. It is also used as my own reference. There's a mistake here. Yeah, okay, so Golang reference. So right now I want a variable that is a array. So that would be slice. We want a slice of strings. So let's see, string. Okay, this is a slice. So let's go back to the code. Var file list is going to be a slice, and it's a string. And what is the syntax for the slice? I believe it is that. So let's put it here. And I have a command that is called, you don't need that. let's that xah quote lines. So quote by double quote, yes. Each line ends with a comma, yes. So we got that. This command is called xah. If you are using emacs, if you are emacs user, it's called xah quote lines here, and you can find the source code at this URL if you like to see it. I mean, you can copy it for your own use. So okay, so we got a bunch of strings, and let's move the directory name part out. Oops, let's get it wrong. Let's move the directory part out. So var oops, so we just want actually, oops, import format and var string. So this is the directory part. Then we have a bunch of files. Let's just print them. To make sure our code is actually running. So print line and print file list and run it. Syntax error line 15. So let's go to line 15. Error because it says unexpected that expecting expression. Okay. So now we have a problem with a slice data type. It says. Now what is the problem? Slice data types. Literal expression for slice. Okay. File list, it's a slice type, then it's a string. Each element is a string. Then we say, I don't see anything wrong. Okay, maybe this way. Let's run it. Correct. So now we fix that. So we got a list here of file names. Then let's print done here. Then we got a bunch of lists. We got another directory. So let's do a for loop. We want to go through the list of files. For each one, we want to open it. So print slice. What we want to do is we want to loop through slice. Yes. So you use this syntax for range. File list. Okay. For range this for. So this file list is a slice. A slice in Golang is just like an array, except that the length can be changed. So it's similar to Python's array or Ruby's array. So we have file list is a slice. Now we need to go through it, and this is the name. Then the first part is the index we don't want. Let's just say print line file name. Okay, let's see what happens. So we go through the file list, print each file name. Yes, run it. That's good. That's what we want. And we can, in Golang, it comes with a formatting tool called GOFMT, Go Format. Okay, so let's format our code because you can see it's not aligned. So Go Format, let's call it. Good. So now we print the file name. Now let's get a directory. Let's get full path. Full path will equals to the plus file name. Okay. Then let's print that. Run the code. That's correct. So now for each file, now we got a full path. For each file, full path, we want to open the file. So how do you open a file? So I go to my tutorial. I forgot. Read file. That's what we want. So there. So we need this IOUTL. Copy it. We need the IO utility. Then library. Then this is how you open a file. Great. Everything is what we want. So here's the code. Format it. Read whole file. Yes. And the file name, the path will be that. Okay, read it. Then my text is the file's content. That's good. Let's try. Now let's try to print it. Let's see. Can we print it? Yes. Let's try to print. Let's print the file. So my text. Okay, hold on a second. My text. Let's say the first 20 bytes, the first 10 bytes. So 1 to 10. Let's say that. Let's see if that works. Now, each my text is of type string. So we want a substring of the first 10 bytes. Now, what is the syntax for substring? So let's see. String functions. Yeah, so we need a colon instead of comma. So let's try that. Run it. Okay, error. Panic. No such file or directory. Okay. Why is that? Oh, because we are missing the slash for root path. So let's run it again. Okay, it seems to be working because it is printing the first 10 bytes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, yeah, 9. The first 9 bytes of the each file. And the first 9 bytes are always the same because if we go to monkey, if we look at the file, each file is a HTML file, and we go to the top, the first 10 lines, the first line is, always that. So that is correct. Then we're going to, let's see, so we are going to, so we got so then we're gonna open the file. So let's see how we open a file. Yep. So let's go back to Golang. We want to open a file. Yeah, we already that's right, we already here. Now we already opened the file. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do, grab the main content of the file. For example, header. For example, we do not care for header and footer. Okay, so let's go to the file and look at one of the files as an example and see which part we want. So basically now we have a string that represents the file content, and it's a huge string. We only want part of the string. For example, this is a chapter, so we ignore the beginning until we reached let's say main. Okay, and then to the bottom that main again. So we want to search, given a text file, a big string, we want to search two strings. One of them will be the beginning position, one of them will be the end position, and remove the rest of it. That's right. So that is the main content we want. So let's try to do that. Go back to Golang. The main content will be delimited by main and that. Okay, now we want to grab this part. So given a text file, we want to grab part of the string. How do we do that? I don't know. So let's look at Golang functions, Golang string functions. That's what we want. Substring, we want a substring, but not by index. We want to find the beginning string and end string. Join string, no. Embed expression, no. String functions, okay. So we need to use the library GoString functions. So here is several examples of using the function. Okay, what we want is not here. Contains, no. So we want to go to the Golang string function library. So let's go to it. Search for Golang. Go to the Go website and click on Documents. Oh, sorry, should be clicking on the Packages. The Packages is basically the documentation for all the standard libraries. So the one we want is the string section. Path, let's see, string. So all the string functions is here. Golang, the language core itself does not have much string functions. All you have is like substring, string index, join string, string length, and that's it. So for any text processing, even trivial ones, you have to use the string package strings. So first of all, let's go to top, add the package, import strings. Okay. So I think I got 4 people watching. So if you have questions, comments, opinions, write it in the comment box. Okay, I love to see that. Anything. This is this is a informal. This is a talk show. I talk about random things. Usually programmer related nerd stuff, and it's pretty informal. So today, we are just doing this live coding of Golang. So we got a giant string that represents the file, and we want to search certain part of the file and grab it as the that's the main content we want. So what function should we use? Magnify. So string contains, okay, maybe the contains last index substring last index any, last index bytes. Okay, so let's see. So the answer should be, let's see, contains, and let's see, index. You see, basically we want the position, the index for the beginning part we want, and we want, we want to do this for another string that indicates the end. Then we want to get the substring, grab that part. So the candidate functions are contains. Function contains returns a boolean. No, that's not what we want. We need the position. So function index returns the index of the first instance of substring in S. That's what we want. Or -1 if doesn't exist. Okay, what about the index any? Index any return index the first instance of any Unicode code point. Okay, so index any is just like index, except you are only searching a Unicode character. You are not searching a string. And index byte is pretty much the same thing, except you give it a byte to search. So what we want is this index function. So let's use that. Let's see, variable main content. Hey, good morning, Cat44, Catherine from Australia. Hi. I don't think I have a female audience before, so good morning. So main content will be the main content. So what we're gonna do? So we're gonna get that. We're gonna try to get that. So Cat44, Catherine, are you a programmer? Are you learning? Or you are an experienced programmer or Emacs user? So we call the function. So how do we call the function? Let's see. I think it's like this. String start index. We call the function, and the first argument is our text. So the first argument is my text. Is a string you want to search from, the file. Then the second argument is a string we want to search. So we want to search this string main. Okay, and it returns a int. So we say start index. Okay, let's see if that works. Print it. Start index. Okay, so there is something we are doing wrong here. That is this one, so we do not allow that. Okay, now let's see if it works. We search the string, and when we find it, we that's a start index, and we try to print it, run it. Okay, error, cannot use my text type byte as type string argument. Okay, so Golang has this issue. In Golang, a string is is technically a sequence of bytes. Like different languages, they deal with strings differently. In JavaScript, a string is a sequence of a sequence of pair of bytes, 2 bytes. That those are Unicode 16 characters. But anyway, so in JavaScript, that's one thing. String is one thing. In Golang, a string is a sequence of bytes. They are not characters. This is important. When you actually start to code Golang. I have a detailed explanation here because so anyway in Go you can read if you later, but basically in Golang a string is a sequence of bytes, and then there are functions to convert the bytes into a Unicode, because for a Unicode character, like an emoji or right arrow, or math symbols. So in Unicode, a character is maybe represented by 2 bytes, so 2 or more, 1 to 4 bytes. So in Golang, a string is a sequence of bytes. So what happens when you have a Unicode such as smiley? So it is represented by 3 or 4 bytes. And so there are methods to convert a string to a string sequence of bytes to a sequence of Unicode characters. In Golang, a Unicode character is called a run. That's just a term Golang invented. So there are methods to convert sequence of bytes to Unicode characters or into a slice of bytes. You see, so this is interesting. So in Golang, a string is a sequence of bytes, but also a string is not mutable. Mutable. That means you cannot, every time you change a string, like you take a substring, Golang will have to make a entire new string and throw away the old one if you don't use it anymore. So every time you create a string, it's a major cost. Golang has to do lots of things, especially when the string is very big, such as file content. So a Golang string is a sequence of bytes, and they are not mutable. So because they are not mutable, every time you change a string, Golang will have to create a new string. That is a slow process. So therefore, when you want to change the string frequently, such as doing find and replace, or like what we are doing, you better to use a slice of bytes instead of a string. Slice of bytes, slice is just a list. Okay, so slice of bytes is just a list of bytes. So what's the difference to a string? The only difference is that when you have a slice of bytes, you can change. You can replace, take a substring, or cut out some part of the string, things like that, or do find and replace. So when you want to change a string, you want to work with a slice of bytes. So there's a way to convert a string to a slice of bytes. Then there's another representation for string, is that a run slice. Run is just a Unicode character. So before, when we have a string which is a sequence of bytes, or if we have a slice of bytes, each index is actually just a byte. They are not a character. So sometimes if you are really working with file textual content, you want to work with characters instead of bytes. So in that case, you want a run slice. A run slice is just a list of runs. A run is just a Unicode character. That's how Golang calls it. So that is why when you work in Golang, you have these 3 kind of data structure representation for a string, for text, for human text. And each one has advantages and disadvantages. And so a string is a sequence of bytes, but they are not mutable. Every time you make some changes, it's slow. Then you have byte slice, which is like a string, but you can change it, very efficient. Then you have run slice, which is when you want to actually deal with each characters. For example, you want to find the 99th character, in a text file, then the run size is most effective. So, but why do you have these different ones? Why can't you just have one, that that does them all? Well, because Golang is kind of low level language. When you want to program games, for example, or networking, you want to send networking packets. You dealing with or video processing, video. You have sequence of bytes, a stream, of bytes. You want to, you don't want it to be, characters. Those are not characters. You want the bytes. So this is one way Golang solves the problem between bytes and Unicode characters, and it is very good. It is actually a very good approach. On the other hand, in Python, in Python 3, a string is a sequence of Unicode characters, but in Python 2, a string is a sequence of bytes, kind of like Golang. So it's problematic, because many people do not like the way Python went, and Ruby has its own ways. So this is actually critical when you learn Golang. After you learn the syntax, this part is a very important part. You want to know it very well, because string and bytes, they are essential. They are essential in any program. You either deal with characters, text processing, or you deal with the sequence of bytes. So let me look at the content. I mean the comment. Arrived at your site some months ago, searching info on algorithmic art. Oh, great, fantastic. Have found your talk shows has sparked an interest in programming. So cool. Thank you. Uh, Thank you for that. Um, so yeah, let's get back to the Golang. So yeah, Golang is a good language to learn, and it may not be the first language to learn. I mean, if you have never programmed before, if you never programmed before, Golang is still a possibility, but some other alternatives is Python. Let's go to yeah, Python. Python is pretty good. Popular choice. Golang is also pretty good. Yeah. So let's go back to this code, Golang code. So how many people are watching? 3. Okay. So we're gonna we should speed this up, because how long we've been talking? 40 minutes. Okay, we are not done yet. Okay, so we try to run the program. We got an error. It says cannot use my text a byte type as a string type. Okay, yeah, so we are dealing with this problem. This is a important critical problem in Golang. So basically we are running into a problem where when we read a file, when we open the file in this line, it actually, the result is a byte slice. You see, when we let's see, I run the program. You see, it says what I have here is a type bracket byte. That means a byte slice, a list of bytes, a sequence of bytes. Meanwhile, this function string.index requires a string type, not bytes. So okay, so this is kind of an issue in Golang. So that's why it's important to understand it well. And I think so. Golang string. Oh, there it is. Index bytes. You see, so in the Golang string library, they have a set of functions, almost like each function has two variations. One one takes a yeah, one takes a byte, one takes a run, and one takes a string as input. So so every function, string function, has almost like every one of them has three variations. One of them takes a string as the argument, second argument, and one of them takes a byte as a second argument, and one of them takes a run, a Unicode character, as a second argument. All these are trying to search your string and return the index. So, but our problem is that we have sequence of bytes, but this function requires a string. So we are using index. We are using this function. It requires us. Okay, so the first argument needs to be a string. So what we need to do here is convert bytes to string. Okay, so let's go back to here. String to byte slice to string. So that's how you do it. So let's just do that. String that. Okay, let's run it. Great, fantastic. So we got a for each file we got a number. This number is the position where the character, the string main, appears. That's what we want. Then the second, then this is great. So it's working. Now let's get the end index. Start index, end index. Let's run it. Great, it's working. Now we want to take the substring of these. So let's say, so this is when this variable is useful. So the main content equals to my text substring start index end index. Okay, let's try to print that. Main content, let's print the first 20, the first 10 bytes. Okay, run it. Fantastic. Now it seems to be working, but however we don't know, it's printing bytes, it's a printing sequence of bytes. These numbers are I think these numbers are the code point for each byte. No, they just represent the byte. So our job is actually to turn this slice of bytes into a string. So let's do that. String. Then run it. Great. So we just printed. So each one shows main. That's a good thing. And but actually, let's just print the whole thing and let's see what happens. Yeah, print the main content. Okay, it's all printing out as bytes. That's not what we want. We want it to print as strings. So again, we are back to the string and bytes issue. So let's go to print string section. So we have a sequence of bytes. We want to print them as strings. We don't want to print them as decimal or a bunch of numbers. So print one byte in string. print whole string. You can print string as is, print with ASCII. So we want to print them as okay, so we need to convert the sequence of bytes to string, I think. Let's run it. Great. This is working. This is printing all the contents we want. There are 100 files there. Okay, let's close it, kill it. So we got the main content. What's the next thing to do? We want to find, now remember, in the directory, for each file has two pages, 1 and 2. We want to put, we have opened the file of the second page. We want to insert it into the file's first page. So what we need to do now is we need to find out the file name for the corresponding file for our page 2. So here let's print file name. Okay, let's run it. Main content declare and not used. Okay, let's print the file name. Oh, if you don't use it, then it's, one of the issue in Golang is that if you do not use a variable, it will refuse to run. It will refuse to compile. They do it this way so that the code will remain clean. If you don't use some variables, if they are not used, you have to remove the declaration. So right now here I have created the start index and end index, but I'm not using it anywhere. So that is why Golang refuse to compile my code. It's making a complaint. So we have to use those start index. So let's make that. Then so we have to use the index to create the main content, but however we are not using main content, but we have to use it. So okay, in that case let's comment these lines out. So we are not using the and comment this line out. Let's just run that. Oh, now it says because I'm not using the library strings, so it refuses to compile. So this is a major complaint of Golang. A lot of people complain about this because every time when you are doing a prototype, experiment, then you load a bunch of libraries, but it complains if you do not use them. Like right now, it's happening to me. So okay, comment out. Let's run the program again. My text declared and not used. Oh god. So now I have to comment out the opening file event. So that's no good. Let's revert it. Let's uncomment them. So we start index and main content. Let's say we just print the first one character of main content. Okay, we don't care about that really. So now we run the program. Great. The first character of each file is that, correct. Then this is the part we want. But however, the actual part we want is this one. You see, yeah, it's the chapter name. The first part before the dash is the chapter number. So for each name, we want to get the chapter number. So basically, we want to take a substring. So let's do that. So this is an example of a string. A substring would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 4. Okay. So substring 0 to 4. Okay. Print it. That's correct. That is correct. So the next thing we want to do is chapter file name. Chapter file name will equals to the file name plus that. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's run it. Great, this is fantastic. We got that file. This is the file we want to open, then insert our main content. Okay, so now let's see, there's a now we want to open the file again. So open file is that code. So we want to open my text2, my error2, and this we want to open this file, and once we opened it, we print that the first 10 characters. Let's do that. My error2 declared and not used. Okay, let's use it. Try it again. Okay, it works. Hi Ahmed. Now we are going to comment the whole file. Now we're going to comment the whole file. What do you mean comment the whole file? Okay, this is taking long, and let's see how many people are watching. This is like getting long and getting boring, I think. Is it like kind of boring to you guys? It would be better, if I'm hot. There's an issue with doing live streaming demo programming, live coding, because when you do when you do a live coding, if you do not explain, like when you are at work, you don't explain, you just do it, then that is no value to people watching it, because they don't know what you're doing, because it's impossible for anyone just to look at your screen and know what you're doing. You have to kind of explain along the way. But when you explain along the way, you are not actually really doing live coding, because you have to actually explain lots of things. Well, yeah, kind of, so anyway, I think the issue is, okay, so anyway, so let's keep doing this almost complete. So we're gonna code, I hope in 15 more minutes we're gonna be done. Okay, we're gonna get it done. So we have successfully got the file. Now we want to add, basically all we want to do now is to insert the main content into the file we just opened. Okay, that is great. So we want to insert the text, the main content, into the file we just opened. Question: where are you going to insert it? Okay, let's go to the file. Let's see, where do we want to insert it. We want to insert, so this is a file you can see in browser. We want to insert it at the bottom because, remember, we are grabbing the page 2, append it to the page 1 content. So the bottom will be above this line, above this adds bottom line. That's where we want to insert. Okay, so now let's go back to the golang. So we want to grab this string. So again, we have to do some search there. So let's clean up the code a little bit. So main index, print main content. We don't need to print it anymore. Print. Now it's, make the whole thing clean. So Ahmed says, when we comment single vars and then their depth and libs. Oh, now we're going to comment the whole file. Oh. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's a problem with the Golang. A lot of people complain about that because this strictness issue. Every time you you do prototypes, it's a pain. It's, so Rust Ahmed says Rust has a way to avoid this issue. Oh, interesting. I don't. I'm not much of a fan of Rust. Even I don't know Rust because, because Rust is like low level language. They require you to manage the memory, like garbage collection. They require you to do it manually. I don't like, those kind of languages. Those are low level languages. So Catherine says, appreciate the time. Thank you. She says, I appreciate the time you take the time to explain the workflow. So now we're gonna do, so we are kind of repeating what we did before. So now we have this file. We want to find the location where this string exists. Yes, that's what we want. So we, just like before, we almost can just copy this thing. So just like before, we copy it, paste it here, and my text to, so this is main content. We don't care about main content. Actually, insert position. Insert position is going to be now we have a string which contains the double quote. Now that is not allowed, so we need to escape the double quote. How do you do that? Let's go to okay, so we just do we can use this backtick. So let me show you what I mean. So instead of that, we say backtick. like that. Yeah. So now we don't have to, add escapes to the string. So anyway, the insert position would be this. Okay. Now let's print and see if we got it right. Comment this out. Run it. Main content declared and not used. That's a pain again. Main content. Let's just say print. Print the first. Don't print print the 0th character. Yeah. So let's run it again. Great. So you see it shows this file, which is the file we want to insert, and it shows this number. This number is the index where we want to insert. Actually it is the I believe it is. So let's see. So now what we want to do is that we have my text2. Basically we want to insert a string into the middle of another string. That's right. We want to insert a string. Now insert main content into my text2 at position at position insert per. That's what we want to do. So how do we do that? So now main content is a sequence of bytes, byte size, and my text2 is also a byte size. So we got a byte size. We want to insert another byte size. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so we go back to the tutorial and we look at slice. So literal expression, print slice, create slice with make, length of slice, take a slice out of a slice, append to slice, clear slice, nested slice, loop through slice. So there is no is there a function or method or operation that inserts a slice into another slice? Well, obviously, I'm pretty sure. But how do you do that? Why is it? So any suggestions? Any any Go programmers? So we got a slice, which is like an array or list. We got a slice of bytes, and we have another slice. We want to insert it into the first slice at a particular position. Okay. So normally in many languages you call a function or a method, which is usually called slice. All the names are similar and confusing, but anyway, typically you call a method. Yes, you call a method, or a function that will insert a slice into another slice. But we want create a slice with make. No, length of slice, take a slice of slice. That's not what we really want. Okay, we do not see the function. So clear slice, nested slice. Okay, I don't see the function here. So that probably means there is no built-in function because golang, because otherwise I would have written it here. Likely, maybe not, but because I know golang is rather a low-level language, so sometimes it does not have convenient functions. You have to add it your own. In this case, it's trivial to write a function that insert a slice into another part. So I right now I believe we don't have that function built in. We can look for it, Stack Overflow, but to save time, it's actually easier if we just write it. Let's just do it. So okay, so the first my text 2 is the slice. We want to take a slice of it, like a substring. Okay, a slice of the slice. We want to say from the beginning to the insert position. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part will be the the new content we want to insert. So main content. Okay, then the last part will be, again, we take a slice from insert position to the end position. So what is the end position? That would be the length of the of my text. That's right. So how do you get the length of a slice? You use the length function. Wait, how do you? Oh, len. Each languages, they have their own thing. So okay, basically this is the new content we want. These three things, these three slices, and we need to join them, combine them. So there is a, how do you join a slice? Append. So here's the new content. New content equals to append. Okay, append a bunch of slices. Now, can append's second argument be a slice? Well, in that case, we have to go look at Golang documentation. So you go to packages, and the built-in functions are documented in this weird place. But let me show you. Built-in. You see, this is a funny thing and a good thing to know if you are learning Golang. In there, this page is their documentation for all the packages. You can find the package you need and you click it, there's a documentation for that package. However, there is one thing special here. In this page, you'll find this built-in. Now, this built-in thing is not actually a package. It's actually just a convenient place where they document all the built-in things in Golang. For example, all these functions are built-in. They are not packages. But however, you find this documentation in the packages section. So that's interesting. So in practice, practically what it means, whenever you are looking up Golang documentation for some built-in things such as var, or such as for example, if you want to know what var is for in Golang, you can look at is it here? No, var is actually too low level. But for example, length is documented here. But anyway, so the thing we want to look for is append here. So append takes two arguments, or like actually infinite number of arguments. So the first thing is a slice. The second, the rest of arguments are of any type, as long as they are the same type. It says here. So so that's good. So that's that. We got what we want to know. We found what we want to know. So we want to append three things. The first thing is a slice. The second thing is also a slice. The last thing is also a slice. That's what we want. Let's go format. And go format says you got a problem. It says expected that but found comma. So this is line 165. So here. Oh, okay. So wait. It say, oh yeah, so you need a colon instead. So go format again. Another error. The error is line 165, and it's missing comma. Missing comma before new line argument list. Okay, I think that's good. Golang. Here's another thing about Golang. Golang, technically, you require the semicolon in most of the in most places, in most end of line. But however, Golang has a feature that you do not need to add that, because when you have a new line character, Golang will almost automatically assume that you have a semicolon at the end. It's a part of the feature of Golang, because so you don't have to type the semicolon all the time, tedious. You can just use a new line, whatever, something something something, and new line. No need to manually type the semicolon. But technically you actually need them. You see, I for example, I'm adding semicolon over here, adding semicolon, and it'll run. It will run, as usual. But however, when you call go format, the command, the built-in command go format, which formats your code for you, it removes the semicolon. For example, you see, now let me call go format. Okay, I call. You see, it removes all my semicolons, because even though technically you need the semicolon, but the convention of Golang, the convention is that people don't type the semicolon. So that's, it's even easier to read, without all the clutters of semicolon. So that is why when you call go format, it just removes the semicolons, for you. But however, sometimes it got confused. For example, if I have this thing, in 3 lines, then go format got confused. It says, I need a comma here, but actually that's not the case, because this whole thing should be considered 1 line. For example, let's see if I can do that. Let's try go format again. Let's see what happens. Oh, it runs. So if you actually indent it, then it actually now understand this is, But anyway, let's make it 1 line. So new content will equals to append. Now, okay, now let's print. Let's print out the first file that. Let's print out the new content, okay? but we don't want to print it here because then it's gonna print for every file, then it's a huge number of files. But let's print it here so that before let's do it here like this. A variable x is a temporary variable. Let's just say something, okay, temp. Then at the bottom we say x equals to new content, okay. Then at the end, out of the loop, we print x. Okay, that works. So in this way, we will only print one of the file, new content, because otherwise it'll just keep printing a lot. So run it. Undefined my text 2. Okay, that's because I need a capitalization. My text 2. Okay, where is it? Oh, here. And one more. Okay, run it. Okay, it says cannot use main content byte slice as type byte in append. Okay, so our problem now is to combine several byte slices. It says we cannot let's try it again. What's the error? So it says cannot use a byte slice as type byte in append. So that tells us that the append will only take byte as its arguments. That's not good. Oh, it should work because you see this one. Oh, if you are appending slice, then it should work. So what is saying? So main content, what is the main content? Main content is a main content is a string. Yeah, because wait, my text is a byte slice, and main content should also be is also a byte size. Okay, let's get over this, and so we can be done with this. Run it. Cannot use main content type byte slice as type byte in append. So somewhere here it is assuming a byte type. Let's do this. Let's just remove the last one. And let's run it, see what happens. Same thing. So what is the type of main content? So we want to see what is the type of main content. How do you find out what type something is? In Golang, you can go to print, and percentage sign t is the type. Yeah, so this is how you do it. Run it. Now wait, let's comment that out. Comment that out. Comment that out. Okay, run it. Okay, it's printing this whole thing. This is wrong because I want to print the type, but because let's try this again. Maybe because I'm using print line instead of print. Okay, let's try this. That's correct. So you see this line, square bracket uint8, that means it's a byte slice, because in Golang the uint8 means a byte. It's an alias to a byte. So if you go to here and you see basic types, so we have int8 here, then you have uint8 here. So basically that just means a byte. So the type of main content is a byte slice, because so the type of main content is a byte slice. Then why is this not working? Append cannot use main content type byte slice as type byte in append. So the append function assumed our second argument as byte type. But why is that? Does anyone know? Wait, whoops, where did it go? Append package strings, building append. I don't know why it's not working, but let's just try to make this into a string. Maybe that helps. Let's see what happens. Run it. So now it says cannot use string main content. Cannot use string main content as type string. Well, cannot use string main content of type string as type byte in append. Yeah, so the append function, the second argument, it keeps assuming that we are using byte, but we are not using byte, man. Hey Gabriel, how are you? I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, I found out, I noticed who you are on Twitter the other day. Um, so do you know Golang? Are you new to Golang? Or so we are coding this problem, and right now we have a problem of with the append function. Basically what we want to do is to we want to join uh, three slices of bytes. Just join three slices, and we try to use the append function. So how do you do this? Um, so we keep running into problems. So RA6 says, I'm new to Go, only know about the basics. Okay, uh, same here. Um, so it cannot use main content type string as type byte in append. Okay, so how do you join uh, a slice? We want to join a bunch of slices. Print slice line by line. Create slice with make. Okay. Length of slice. Take slice of slice. Append to slice. So built-in function append. Okay. Clear slice. Create nested slice with make. Loop through slice. So definitely the answer lies in append. That's the function we want to use. Oh, okay, so we need three dots. That's right. Now I know the answer. These three dots are actually an operator. If I recall correctly, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. So let's try it again, okay? Let's try this. Comment this out, and instead of that, we don't need. All we have to do is give it three dots. Because the second argument to append really must be byte. It doesn't want slices. It wants a byte. You can have many arguments. They all must be byte. So now so our main content is a slice. It's not a byte. It's a slice of bytes. So we want to pass this into the append, but we need these three dots to make it into a bunch of arguments. So let's run it. That's successful. It says new content declared and not used. That's good. Finally. So that's good. Now we go back to our original here. We want to want to make all these three dots, dot dot dot, and here too, dot dot dot. Okay, run it. Unexpected. What? This is confusing. Oh, can you do that? Okay, I know what's going on. So actually what we need to do, it can append, when you use this, it can only be done once. Yeah. So new content, new content. This probably something like that. So comment this out. So new content equals to that. Then we want to append new content again by that. Let's see. That is correct. I think that's it correct. Let's run it. Ooh, it seems good. Smells good. Now let's print the content, shall we? Let's let's get back to the print it. Run it. Okay, cannot use new content because type byte slice as type string in assignment. Okay, that's easy to fix. So x is a string. So now we just turn it into a string. Great. Fantastic. It seems like it's working. Now let us double check. Let us double check, and when maybe when this is correct, we shall call it a day. So let me read the comments. Why golang? Why golang is great, but what does three dots mean? Is it like convert type to type? No, it's not convert type to type. Three dots means you want to, for example, if you have a, let's say in any language, let's say var equals to var list equals to something 3 4 5. Okay, now let's say you have a function f, okay, and it takes three arguments x y z, okay, equals to something. Okay, now this function takes three arguments x y z. Now you want to call the function with the content of the list 3 4 5, but however you don't have, the problem now is that you want to pass this, array, this list kind of thing, into the function, but the function doesn't take a list. The function needs the arguments by itself. So how do you do that? This is a common problem. So in some languages you can say, in Golang for example, that's what you say. You give a variable name, then you put three dots that kind of put, that sometimes it's said slice or splice, the list into the arguments. And in JavaScript you have to put the three dots before, and each one works differently. JavaScript, in the case of JavaScript, the list is considered uniterable. But anyway, so that is what the three dots is for. So right now we seems to be successful, and what we did is that we have printed out the new content. Now all we have to do is to double check if this is new content is correct. So how do we do that? You go to here, you can see this is correct because I know you see these two lines are repeated at bottom. Why they are repeated? Because I know one of them came from the second file, while the other one is already originally in the first file. Remember, in the first file we searched for this position. We say we want to add it before these, so that's why so from here and above is from the second file. So if we go up and look at so Yeah, so we are sure this is correct. This is correct. Now the last step, the last step is to write out this new content into our file, original file. So let's just do that, and it should be done. Yeah, so let's do that, and it will be done for today. Maybe 70 minutes so far. We have talked about 90 minutes. Yeah, takes a long time. you know, if I've been working with Golang a lot, then tutorial will be much smoother. But I'm just doing this for fun. That exploration and all these frustrations is part of the part of the show. So yeah, we want to write to file. So how do you do that? So I go to my tutorial, which function as a notes for myself. So here is how you write to file content. Okay, you want to create a file first, then that's how you write to file. Okay, so let's copy that. Okay, here's another example. So basically there is this library OS, and you can use write string. So you have to do OS create, then OS create, it returns a file object, and this file object has a method named write string. So you use os.create to create a path. It returns a file object. Then the file object has a write to string method. Then that's how you write to a file. That's one way. Now let's look at the other way. So in this case, in this example, we need to use IO util. So in this way, you write to file by this way. Okay, let's use this method because I prefer this. Seems to be a simpler method. So we need this library. Go to the top of the file. Then we need the library here. Okay, then we need to use this function to write to file. Go has lots of error checking. You must have that, otherwise it won't compile. So that is also a common complaint about Golang. So here we have the write to file code. So IOUTIL write file, and this is the path we want to write it to. We want to write it to the plus let's just say xx test. Okay, let's just say for now. Okay, for every time we just write to that file repeatedly, just for now. We're gonna fix it later. So the dd will be the byte slice you want to write to. In this case, it will be new content. And the create file mod, the Unix file permission mod is 0644. Okay, good morning, George. Okay, let's see if that runs. Go format, run it. Okay, IOUTIL redeclared as imported. Okay, that's another pain. Okay, we already declared that. Okay, run it again. Yeah, looks like it's working. Fantastic. Now all we have to do is just to go to the directory, then look at the file there. Look at the file. Is this the one? Yep. So instead of this, we're gonna do one more thing. uh, 2 more minutes. So instead of, so the file name will be directory plus we have a file name here somewhere, the current file name. Let's search for name. Okay, here, yeah. So chapter file name. Let's do this. Okay, so let's do this. Hold on a second. It's so directory x underscore then chapter file name, then html.html. Okay, that's what we want. This, we should create one new file for each of these. Let's see if it works. Run it, please, please, please. Okay. It's printing this shit. We don't need. Let's see. Oh, it looks like we failed. Where are the files? Oh, we've succeeded. You see, all these new files are the new files. You see, yeah, that is correct. All these files. Let's try to open one of them. Chapter 4. Yep, this is chapter 4, Chinese chapter 4. So in this chapter 4, okay, actually it's correct. You can see this is the second page content, have added to the first page content. Now it appears like that because we have because you can see, if I can show you here, you see, because we remember we added from starting of the main tag, we actually should have not included that, and also we shouldn't have included that, but we have, that's essentially it's what we wanted. These are just minor things we have to tweak the code. So actually so I think that covers it. We basically that's what we set out to do, and we have finished it. It's not very refined, but we spent 90 minutes. I'm just gonna clean the code, and that would be it, for myself. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. I hope you liked Golang. Golang is now my favorite language. It's Golang is a great language. It's my favorite because I have quite a few. My favorite would be Mathematica, but in general, Golang, I like Golang a lot, is because it's extremely simple, very simple. I mean, among all the languages, among Python, JavaScript, C, C++, C sharp, among all of them, Golang is one of the simplest one. Okay, so if you are a beginner, Golang is a good choice. Python, Ruby, PHP, they are actually all good choices. Okay, I like Golang. Okay, but Golang is almost the simplest among them. That's one thing. That's one reason. The other reason is that Golang is industrial. It's hugely popular. It's created by Google, of course, and it's industrial language. So if you want to work for some company, doing Golang, you can easily find a job. If provided you actually you have to learn Golang. Of course, you have to be good. Spend a year or two to study Golang. So Golang is industrial language. Now this is different from some other languages where it's a niche. For example, Lisp, Haskell even is kind of a bit niche, So Golang is very popular, widely used, and also the third reason is that Golang is a very powerful modern language. It's created like only 10 years ago. All the other languages are 20 years ago. Or, Python is like 30 years old almost. Python, Perl, Ruby are almost 30 years old. Yeah, 30 actually, 31 or something. uh, and C++, those are even older. So Golang is a modern, it's only like 10 years old. uh, as far as programming languages goes, in general, as far as technology goes, anything related to technology, such as your cell phone or computer, laptop, the later the better. Okay, so yeah, so I like Golang, and I hope you like it. And uh, try to check out my Golang tutorial. Just go to xah Golang. Thank you for watching. See you next time.